Learning DCE, myself, Dr. Vijayalakshmi R, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mathematics, Maharani Science College for Women, Bengaluru. This session, we shall discuss about the fundamental homomorphism theorem and some theorems on isomorphisms. So, fundamental homomorphism theorem. Let F be a homomorphism of a group G into a group G dash with kernel K, then F of G is isomorphic to the factor group G by K. So here already we have in the previous sessions we have defined what is homomorphism, what is a isomorphism and how to find the kernel of homomorphism. If F is a mapping from G to G dash, G has the operation binary operation addition and G dash has the binary operation multiplication dot, then F is a homomorphism if it satisfies F of G1 plus G2 is equal to F of G1 into F of G2, where G1, G2 belongs to G. If this homomorphism is one-to-one and onto, then the mapping is said to be an isomorphism. Only when the mapping is homomorphism, we can find the kernel. And here G by K is the factor group. So we shall prove this. So what is given here is F from G to G dash is a homomorphism. The set F of G is a subgroup of G dash. So when it is a subgroup, naturally it has to be a group by itself. This is from the definition of a subgroup, because when G is a group, H is a subset of G. H is said to be a subgroup provided it is a group by itself under the same binary operation as the group G. With this definition, we are telling the set F of G is a subgroup of G dash and hence it is a group by itself. Now we shall define the map phi from G by K to F of G. That is, we are defining a map from the factor group G by K to the subgroup F of G by phi of Ka is equal to F of A. And here what we can observe is the elements of the factor group are the cosets. Either it can be left coset or right coset. So we are defining the map phi as phi of Ka. Here Ka is a coset is equal to F of A. For all A belong to G and Ka belong to G by K. So now we have defined a new map. So first we have to check whether the map is well defined. Now to show phi is well defined, we have to show that phi is independent of the choice of representative. Let B belongs to Ka. So this implies B is equal to K1 A for K1 belonging to K. So this implies B is equal to K1A means B A inverse is equal to K1. Or what we have done, we can post multiply by A inverse on both sides. Then we get B A inverse is equal to K1 A inverse. A inverse will be E. K1 into E is equal to K1. So we have got B A inverse is equal to K1. Now F of K1 is equal to E dash. E dash is the identity element of the codomain G dash. Here K1 belongs to K. So here K is the kernel. So from the definition of kernel, we are telling F of K1 is equal to E dash. So this implies, but K1 is BA inverse. So when F of K1 is equal to E dash, it implies that F of BA inverse is also E dash. And F is a homomorphism. So F of BA inverse can be written as F of B dot F of A inverse. Therefore, F of B dot F of A inverse is equal to E dash. F of A inverse. F of A inverse is nothing but F of A whole inverse. This we have proved in as one of the property for homomorphism. That is, for F of A inverse is its inverse. So F of B dot F of A inverse is equal to E dash. From this we can say that F of B is equal to F of A dot E dash. Now E dash is element of G dash, which is the identity element, and F of A is the element of G dash. When A belongs to G, F of A belongs to G dash. So F of A dot E dash, element multiplied by its identity element, gives back the element itself. So we are getting F of A. So F of B is equal to F of A. Hence, the mapping phi is well defined. Next, we have to show that phi is 1 to 1. So let phi of Ka be equal to F of phi of Kb. This implies F of B is equal to F of A. So F of A dot F of B inverse is equal to G dash implies F of AB inverse is equal to E dash, or AB inverse belongs to K. When AB inverse belongs to kernel K means A belongs to KB. That is, we get K is equal to KB. So phi is 1 to 1. We have proved phi is well defined. Then phi is 1 to 1. Now we have to show phi is on to, let B belongs to F of G. The subgroup be arbitrary. Then there exists A which belongs to group G such that F of A is equal to B. Thus, there exists Ka which belongs to G by K such that phi of Ka is equal to F of A is equal to B. So here, for the image, if the image exists, then its pre-image exists. That's what we are telling. There exists Ka belongs to G by K such that phi of Ka is equal to F of A which is equal to B. Hence, phi is onto. After proving phi is well defined, we have shown phi is 1 to 1 and onto. Now, to show it is a homomorphism, isomorphism, we have to show that phi is homomorphism. So consider two elements of G by K, that is Ka and Kb. Consider phi of Ka dot Kb. Phi of Ka dot Kb. Ka, Kb are two cosets. Product of two cosets is Ka dot Kb is nothing but it is Kab. So phi of Ka dot Kb is equal to phi of Kab, and that is equal to F of AB. F is a homomorphism. So F of AB can be written as F of A dot F of B. And F of A is phi of Ka, F of B is phi of Kb. So we get phi of Ka dot Kb is equal to phi of Ka dot phi of Kb. Hence, phi is a homomorphism. We have shown phi is, after defining phi, we have shown that phi is well defined, phi is 1 to 1, phi is onto, phi is a homomorphism, hence phi is isomorphism. Therefore, f of g is isomorphic to the factor group g by k. Now we shall prove some results on isomorphism, and these we are proving in the form of theorems. Theorem 1, let f from G to G dash be an isomorphism of a group G onto the group G dash, and A is any element of G, then the order of f of A equals the order of A. So here it is given that f from G to G dash is an isomorphism of a group G onto a group G dash. So it is an isomorphism means basically it has to be a homomorphism, and it has to be 1 to 1 and onto, and A is any element of G, then order of f of A will be equal to order of A. This we have to prove. So to prove this, here we are taking the identity elements of G and G dash. G, E is the identity element of G, E dash is the identity element of G dash. And here what we are telling is order of f of a is equal to f of order of a. That is, when we talk about order, it can be either finite or infinite. So suppose let a be of finite order, say n. Then from the definition of order of element, n is the least positive integer such that a power n is equal to e. So order of a is n, then this implies there exists a least positive integer n such that a power n is equal to e. A power n is equal to e implies f of a power n is equal to f of e. That is, we are operating f. And f of e belongs to g. F of e means its image, it belongs to g dash. E is the identity of g. So f of e means it will be the identity of g dash. Identity of g dash is e dash. So f of a power n is equal to f of e implies f of a whole power n, that is equal to e dash. Here, this f is a homomorphism. So this implies f of a is of finite order. Again, we are telling this from the definition of order of the element. So order of f of a is n means f of a power n is equal to identity, that is e dash. It is satisfying, so we are telling f of a is of finite order. Let order of f of a be equal to m. That is, m is the least positive integer such that f of a power m is equal to e dash. And also, just now we have shown that f of a power n is equal to e dash. Thus, m divides n. So f of a whole power m is equal to e dash implies f of a power m is equal to f of e. This implies a power m is equal to e. But it is given in the theorem that order of a is equal to n. Therefore, n divides m. So we have got m divides n and n divides m. From this, we can say that m is equal to n. That is, order of f of a is equal to order of a. So now here, in this part, we have used the definition of order of an element. Now, second case, let a be of infinite order. That is, let a be of infinite order and let f of a be of finite order, say m. So here we are taking let a be of infinite order, but f of a be of finite order, say m. Then, since f of a is of finite order m means, from the definition of order of an element, we say that there exists m, the least positive integer, such that f of a power m is equal to e dash. Thus, f of a power m is equal to e dash. F of a power m is equal to e dash implies f of a power m is equal to f of e, because f of e is e dash. Or from this we can say that a power m is equal to e. A power m is equal to e means this is the definition for order of an element. When a power m is equal to e implies a is of order m, and we have taken m is finite. But in the beginning of this case, we have assumed let a be of infinite order. So this is a contradiction. Hence, order of f of a is finite. So in both the cases, we have got order of a is equal to f of a. And here in this theorem, we have mainly used the definition of order of an element and some properties of homomorphism we have used. Coming to the second property, let f from g to g dash be an isomorphism. If g is abelian, then g dash is also abelian. So what is given here is f from g to g dash is an isomorphism. Suppose g is abelian, that is commutative property satisfied in g, then commutative property should also be satisfied in G dash. That is for the elements of G, commutative property holds. The commutative property should also hold for the images of those elements. So now here F from G to G dash is an isomorphism. That is, mapping F from G to G dash is basically a homomorphism. It is 1-to-1 and onto. With that, we have to go further. So we have taken two elements, A dash, B dash in G dash. And here F is 1-to-1 and onto. Since F is onto, for A dash, B dash belonging to G dash, there exists its pre-images. That is, there exists AB which belongs to G, such that F of A is equal to A dash, F of B is equal to B dash. Now consider A dash dot B dash. A dash is F of A, B dash is F of B. So A dash dot B dash will be equal to F of A dot F of B. But F is given to be a isomorphism, so it is a homomorphism. Therefore, F of A dot F of B is equal to F of AB. But G is given to be abelian. That is, for elements of G, commutative property is satisfied. Here AB belongs to G, so AB is equal to BA. Hence, F of AB is equal to F of BA. Again, F is a homomorphism, so F of BA can be written as F of B dot F of A. But F of B is B dash, F of A is A dash. So ultimately what we have got is A dash dot B dash is equal to B dash dot A dash for all A dash B dash belonging to G. Hence G dash is abelian. So in this property, we have used the commutative property to prove it is abelian, and it was given that F is isomorphism. So isomorphism means it has to be homomorphism 1-to-1 and onto. That is, homomorphism means if F is a mapping from G to G dash, if G has the binary operation addition and G dash has the binary operation multiplication dot, then F is a homomorphism provided it satisfies F of G1 plus G2 is equal to F of G1 dot F of G2, where G1, G2 are elements of G, and it has to be 1-to-1 and onto for isomorphism. Now, coming to the next theorem, any infinite cyclic group is isomorphic to the group Z of integers under addition. So here in this theorem, what is given is infinite cyclic group is isomorphic to the group Z. So here F is a mapping from G to Z, where G is infinite cyclic group. Cyclic group means it should have generator. And here the codomain Z is the set of group of integers. First, if I define the map, let G be an infinite cyclic group having generator A, that is, G is set of all A power n such that n belongs to Z. This is the A is the generator here. Now define F from G to Z by F of A power n is equal to n for all A power n belonging to G. So we have defined the mapping F as F of A power n is equal to n. First one, we have to show this mapping F is isomorphism. So to show F is isomorphism, basically we have to show it is a homomorphism. So now, consider F of Am dot An is equal to F of A power m plus n. So this implies F of A power m into A power n is equal to m plus n, that is F of A power m plus F of A power n. Here the mapping is f of a power n is equal to n. Therefore, f of a power n dot a power n, the base is same. So it will be a power m plus n. F of a power m plus n, from the definition of f, it is equal to m plus n. And f of a power n is n. F of a power m is m. So we get f of a power m dot a n is m plus n. And f of a power m plus f of a power n will be m plus n. So LHS is equal to RHS. Therefore, f of a power m into a power n is equal to f of a power m plus f of a power n. So we have shown f is a homomorphism. Now show that it is onto. Now consider element in codomain. That is, for all n belonging to Z, a power n belongs to G, where G is infinite group. So we are taking an integer which belongs to Z. So if we take an integer which belongs to Z, means there exists a power n which belongs to G, because G is cyclic group and it is infinite cyclic group. So this implies for all n belonging to Z, a n belonging to G, such that a power n, f of a power n is n. Hence f is onto. So we have proved f is homomorphism, f is onto. Next thing is we have to show f is 1 to 1. Now to show f is 1 to 1, consider two elements. That is, let f of a power n be equal to f of a power m. By the definition of f of a power n is n, f of a power m is m. So f of a power n is equal to f of a power m, means n is equal to m. So this implies a power n is equal to a power m. Hence f is 1 to 1. So we have shown that f is homomorphism 1 to 1 and onto. Hence f is an isomorphism from the infinite cyclic group to the set of group of integers. So in these problems, basically we have used the definition of homomorphism, isomorphism, kernel, 1 to 1 and onto. So by homomorphism, what we mean is, if f is a mapping from G to G dash, where G is a group consisting of non-empty set G with the binary operation addition plus, and G dash consists of binary operation dot, then the mapping, if it satisfies f of G1 plus G2 is equal to f of G1 dot G2 for all G1, G2 belonging to G, then f is said to be a homomorphism. And if you take two elements, f of A is equal to f of B, if it implies A is equal to B, then it is 1 to 1. For onto, we take that if the image exists, the element exists in the codomain, then if there exists a pre-image in the domain such that it is the given relation is satisfied, then f is onto. So if f is a homomorphism 1 to 1 and onto, then it is an isomorphism. So in these problems, and in one problem we have used about the abelian group. That is, abelian group means usually a group satisfies closure law, associative law, existence of identity, existence of inverse. In addition to that, the commutative property has to be satisfied to call a group as an abelian group, and only if the homomorphism exists, then only we can find the kernel of the homomorphism. And in one problem, we have used G by K. G by K is nothing but the quotient group. If the quotient group consists, the elements of the quotient group are nothing but they are the cosets. And in one problem, we have considered about the cyclic group. Cyclic group means it will have a generator, that is, it is generated by an element, that is known as the generator. If G is cyclic, means we say G is set of all a power n. So this a power n, all the elements will be of that form. That is, they can be expressed in the as a multiple of generator or as a power of the generator. Then the group is said to be a cyclic group. And here and in one problem we have made use of the kernel. So the kernel exists only when the given function is a homomorphism, and the kernel will be the kernel consists of the identity element of the codomain. So in all these problems we have made use of basically the definition of homomorphism. With the definition of homomorphism only we can study this isomorphism or any other property related to homomorphism. And another thing what we can observe is this homomorphism. In homomorphism to exist, there need not be two different groups. Both the domain, codomain, in some problems there will be the same group with the same binary operation. So both the case exists. That is, the domain, codomain may be different sets with the different binary operations, or they may be the same set with the same binary operations, but the condition should be satisfied. That is, if addition is the binary operation for domain and multiplication is the binary operation for codomain, then it has to satisfy f of g1 plus g2 is equal to f of g1 dot g2. Only when this condition is satisfied, we say f is a homomorphism. Otherwise, it is not a homomorphism. And here are some references for further study of these properties of homomorphism and isomorphism.